Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a look at something incredibly fundamental that has, well, almost completely vanished from our daily lives. We are going to discover exactly how simple, highly affordable fuel literally built the American working class. And this was way before convenience marketing, and all those brightly colored cardboard boxes came along and erased it from our memories. I want you to picture this for a second. It's 1953. A mother in West Virginia is up at 5:15 in the morning. She's got to feed 4 kids and a husband before the sun even clears the ridge. And what does she have? She has a tin of lard, a heel of bread, and 1 single egg. Now here's the secret that modern cereal companies and frozen food brands absolutely never wanted you to figure out. Your grandmother, she wasn't cooking this way because she was ignorant or because she just didn't know any better. No way. She cooked this way because simple food, when you make it correctly, was the absolute most powerful fuel a human body could run on. I mean, we're talking about the kind of energy that kept miners underground for 12 hours straight and farmers out in the fields until it was pitch black.
So let's start counting them down. We're kicking things off with Arrow 1, scrappy breads and simple fats.
Starting way back at number 25, we've got bread and bacon grease. Now, a loaf of white bread back then was just 14 cents, but that grease sitting in the coffee can right beside the stove, that was completely free. At 24, cornmeal mush. A 20-cent sack of cornmeal could seriously last you 2 entire weeks, and it kept coal miners on their feet right until noon. Coming in at 23 is milk toast. This was the ultimate quiet comfort food for a sick kid, or frankly, an empty wallet, back when milk was delivered for just 20 cents a quart. Down to 22, red-eye gravy and biscuits. You'd fry up country ham in a hot cast-iron skillet and deglaze that pan with black coffee. So good. And at 21, oatmeal with lard. Long before we were loading our oatmeal up with brown sugar, mothers actually stirred in lard and salt. Why? Because that animal fat transformed a really light meal into 12 hours of sustained energy. Honestly, nutritionists are only just now starting to understand what our grandmothers somehow knew 70 years ago. Now, let's talk about number 20 for a second, the fried egg sandwich. And no, I do not mean that trendy, modern Instagram version loaded up with avocado and sriracha that'll set you back $8. I mean 1 egg, fried in bacon grease until the edges get all brown and crispy, slapped right between 2 slices of white bread. Back in 1955, eggs were about 60 cents a dozen, so this entire sandwich cost less than a dime to make. They'd wrap it in newspaper, and factory workers would literally eat it on the bus. It was just a perfectly designed, completely affordable meal, and it's something that today's wildly expensive brunch culture has, sadly, totally lost touch with. Moving right along into our next group, we're going to see how cast iron cooking really built resilience. At 19, fried cornbread, cooked in screaming hot lard right there in the skillet. Number 18 is salt pork and gravy. You've got to remember, salt pork was the ultimate shelf-stable protein for the working class for, well, over 2 centuries. Then at 17, we have cracked wheat porridge. This stuff was so incredibly calorie-dense and effective that the U.S. Army actually mandated it in field kitchens during 2 separate world wars. And at 16, tomato gravy and biscuits. On those tough mornings when there was just no meat and absolutely no eggs in the house, canned tomatoes cooked down with bacon drippings created this magical, savory breakfast that fed an entire family for just pennies.
Which brings us to number 15, fried mush. Now this is the ultimate lesson in resourcefulness. Basically, you'd take the cold, leftover cornmeal mush from the night before, slice it up nice and thick, and fry it in lard. The outside would literally shatter when you bit into it, while the inside stayed perfectly soft and creamy. It was zero waste. You see, our grandmothers understood that transforming yesterday's leftovers was really just another word for cooking. Just compare that to today's frozen waffles. You're paying $2 a box for something that, let's be honest, essentially tastes like cardboard. So the really crucial point here with numbers 14 through 12 is the true art of leftovers and scraps. Take number 14, for example. It turns Sunday's cold mashed potatoes into Monday's crispy potato cakes. Number 13 is hoe cakes. Originally invented by enslaved workers, this required literally nothing but cornmeal, water, salt, and a hot surface, and it sustained field workers all day long. And number 12, crackling bread. They would take those crispy, browned bits left over from rendering lard and just stir them right into the cornbread batter. Using every single bit of the harvest, or every part of the pig, didn't mean you were stuck eating a lesser meal, it just meant you were creating a true masterpiece that took maybe 1 extra step.
All right, coming in at number 11, buttermilk pancakes from scratch. You know, convenience marketing spent decades trying to convince families that making pancakes from scratch was just way too difficult. But seriously, look at these ingredients: flour, baking soda, lard, salt, an egg, and buttermilk. And that buttermilk, that was literally just the leftover liquid from churning butter. It was fast, incredibly simple, and it gave you this dense, chewy pancake with a slight tanginess that just paired perfectly with molasses.
Number 10 is fried apple rings. Imagine thick slices of apple, dredged really lightly in flour and cinnamon, and then caramelized in butter or lard in a heavy cast iron skillet. The cost for this? Absolutely zero.
Well, 0 as long as you had an apple tree out back, which most rural families actually did. This meal relied entirely on the autumn harvest and this deep, instinctual understanding of balancing sweet apples with salty pork. Absolutely no recipe required.
Sitting at the 9th spot is a meal that people rarely talk about anymore: coffee soup. Now, I know it sounds like poverty, but anyone who actually ate it will tell you it tastes exactly like comfort. It's basically just hot black coffee poured over torn-up pieces of stale bread, with a good spoonful of fat and a pinch of salt. Working men used to eat this standing right at their kitchen counters at 4 a.m. It was hot, it was fast, and it kept them moving. And here's the thing: it didn't disappear because it stopped working, it disappeared because later prosperity made people kind of embarrassed by it.
Taking the number 8 spot, fried salt herring and potatoes. Get this, between 1910 and 1955, this specific dish fueled more American working men before 6 a.m. than any other food in the country. You'd soak the herring, fry it in its own fat, and then just let the potatoes soak up all those amazing drippings. It was literally complete nutrition in one single skillet. Today, it has been entirely erased from American culture. We've replaced it with frozen fish sticks that, let's face it, nobody even considers eating before noon. Number 7 brings us straight into late summer. Fried green tomatoes and eggs. You dredge thick, unripened green tomatoes in cornmeal and fry them right alongside your fresh eggs. The yolk breaks and soaks straight into that savory, tart, crispy cornmeal crust. It was this filling, absolutely perfect breakfast that required nothing, and I mean nothing, from a grocery store. All you needed was a garden and that trusty cast iron skillet.
At number 6, we have sausage meat. Now, this is made from the head meat, ears, feet, and tongue of the pig. You'd simmer it until it was incredibly tender, mix it with vinegar, and press it into a cold loaf that you could just slice right over crackers. I know modern tastes have largely shifted away from this, and people sometimes look down on it as poverty food. But the honest truth, using absolutely every part of the animal to ensure nobody in your family went hungry, that was pure culinary intelligence.
Breaking right into our top 5, we find molasses and bread. Just a generous pour of dark sorghum molasses over some white bread or cornbread. A whole gallon of this stuff cost less than $1 back then, and it would last you for weeks. It was super rich in iron, calcium, and delivered this incredibly deep flavor. I mean, just compare that to what kids are eating before school today. Brightly colored, artificially flavored yogurt tubes that cost $3 a pop and are absolutely loaded with 17 grams of added sugar. It's crazy. Number 4 is the classic egg in a hole. It's just one slice of bread, you tear a little hole in the center, crack an egg right in the middle, and fry the whole thing in grease. The total cost to feed a kid this breakfast? About 2 cents, and it took maybe 2 minutes to make. It's wonderfully ironic, don't you think, how this classic working-class staple has been totally hijacked today. Now it's an $11 microgreen and truffle oil brunch item. It just completely misses the point of what made the dish so brilliant in the first place.
In 3rd place is streak of lean and biscuits. If you don't know, streak of lean was a salt-cured pork belly. It was intensely savory, smoky, and super crispy. Best of all, it cost almost nothing at the butcher, and it lasted for days without needing any refrigeration. You take those pan drippings and pour them right over fresh, hot buttermilk biscuits. This specific breakfast essentially sustained the American South entirely through the Great Depression. Yet today, it has basically vanished from American memory. Just missing the top spot. Coming in at number 2, cornbread and milk. Just take some crumbled, leftover, cold cornbread and drop it straight into a tall glass of cold buttermilk. No cooking required. No heat needed whatsoever. Tired farmers would eat this standing up before sunrise, and kids would gulp it down right after school. It was cooling, it was filling, and it required absolutely nothing but whatever happened to be left in the icebox.
And now, we finally reached the undisputed heavyweight champion of the cast iron kitchen. The ultimate meal that sent men into coal mines, steel mills, and farm fields for over 100 years. The cast iron king. Number 1. Biscuits, eggs, and sausage gravy. And please, I do not mean the soggy fast food version. I'm talking about the flawless one-skillet choreography of the 1950s kitchen. Step 1. You bake scratch biscuits until the crust literally shatters. Then you brown your sausage right there in the cast iron skillet. Step 3. You stir flour and milk directly into that screaming hot fat to create this thick, rich gravy flecked with coarse black pepper. And finally, you fry your eggs in that exact same pan. Everything on one plate, costing less than 50 cents. The grandmothers who made this, they didn't use recipes. They cooked by hand, by smell, and by the exact sound the gravy made when it was bubbling and ready. And that profound, beautiful knowledge is almost entirely gone today.
It is truly incredible to think about the culinary wisdom and sheer resourcefulness that has just slipped away from our modern mornings. Looking back at this list of 25 lost breakfasts, we really have to ask ourselves, when we traded in the cast iron skillet for the convenience of a cardboard box, what else did we leave behind? Which of these meals did your family survive on? And honestly, is it time we bring them back? Thanks so much for exploring this with me today.